Us with Robin Meade. But tonight, I'm thrilled to be here as part of Ask Oprah's All-Stars. This is your primetime chance to get the answers that you need to make 2011 the year that you really start living your best life. Now, for the first time ever, 3 of the all-time best experts, I'm not biased or anything, in the country, will be tackling your burning questions together. So whether you want to know about wealth or your health or relationships, we have you covered here. So before we get started, really quick, let me ask the 3 experts here, what are your intentions? What would you like everybody here and at home to get out of this? Dr. Phil.
I want people to have huge takeaway, because right now I'm concerned about the trickle down in America. There's a lot of pressure from finances. A lot of people are worried about economics, and that trickles down into relationships, pressure in the home, how kids are treated, our entitled generation. I want people to go away with some tools so they can make a difference.
And Susie?
I want each and every one of you to be able to stand in your truth. And if we can do that, you can turn your financial situation around.
Dr. Oz?
Big idea. Let's make it easy to do the right thing. What we're going to do today is lay it out, so by the time we're done, you're going to sit back and say, geez, that was so easy. Why didn't I do it before?
We asked the viewers to send in their burning questions. I mean to tell you that nothing was off limits. Nothing was too embarrassing. And the questions poured in from all over. And in just a few weeks here, we heard from more than 30,000 people. And tonight's show is full of your #1, the top questions here. And when it came to Dr. Oz, I didn't know what to think at first. But this is what you most wanted to ask. Take a look.
From Los Angeles to New York City, from Austin to Ann Arbor, America has a lot of questions about
Poop, 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 poop.
Lynn from Howell, Michigan uploaded her question to Facebook.
Hi, Dr. Oz. You say S-shaped poops are the best poops. When I poop, it's hard and small. So how do I get an S-shaped poop?
On the streets of New York, Farida asked,
I've been constipated most of my lifetime. I've tried everything. What can I do?
Debbie from Phoenix, Arizona emailed Dr. Oz her question.
Sometimes I can poop and sometimes I can't. But when I do, it's always big and painful. Help.
Kimberly from Houston, Texas, has been keeping a video poop journal.
I haven't pooped in 3 days. I'm starting to feel a lot like a beached well. The effects of my stool softener is starting to really set in. I still haven't pooped. Hopefully soon I'll be able to poop.
Well, the poor thing. And aren't we an honest bunch here with ourselves? Kimberly, who asked that last question, is joining us right now. I'm Polly Com from Houston, and Dr. Oz is going to give her some advice in a minute. But first, throughout the series, we're going to ask here in the studio audience to use this voting device, okay? This is called the Paget Communications voting device, and you have one. So we can all see exactly how we're measuring up in terms of how we're feeling about things. And all of the answers are totally anonymous here in the studio, even though I'm staring right at you. It is anonymous. So let's get started with the first question. It's a moving one, honey, okay? How many times a week are you moved? And you know what I mean by that, okay? So hold this in your hand, and once or less a week, my gosh, my heart goes out to you if it's once or less a week. B is 2 to 4 times a week. C is 5 to 9 times a week. Or D, 9 to 15 times a week. You might have my husband beat there. So you vote now, and it's anonymous. You can be honest.
I have to say, I just think this is a load of crap. I really do.
We have the results. Okay, so let's find out how you measure up with our audience. The results are a whopping 48%, nearly half of the audience here, says it's 5 to 9 times a week. So let me ask Dr. Oz here. I mean, for Kimberly and for everybody else in the audience who answered A, I mean, you want to say that is not healthy.
The Kimberleys of the world, the ones I worry about. So we got about 20% of people, at least, and that's, I'm thinking we got a pretty healthy group here, who say they're having poops the right amount of times, which is roughly once a day. But it's important that you're not impacted, which means that you're not straining when you go to the bowel movement. And I want people to recognize that women and kids have more of a problem with constipation than men do.
So why is that?
Let me show you why. I got an animation to bring this alive. And whenever I do these shows, Oprah insists on this animation, so we're gonna show it to you right now. So here's the food, the bolus going through your small bowel. Now, if you're eating food that irritates you, what ends up happening is you get a little bit of a spasm, a little bit of a squeezy feeling, a little bit of bloating sometimes, another sign you got an issue with the food. But here's where the movement starts.
Oh.
The poop comes into the large bowel. Now it's in the cecum. That's a diverticulum, a little outpouching. That's the appendix. As the bowel goes through your intestinal tract, it starts to look a little bit more familiar to some of you. And it's going to come down towards the very bottom here, and that's the sigmoid and the rectum here. It's going to just wait there until you're ready to go to the bathroom. And then when the show's over, you let it come out. These are the hemorrhoidal veins right there. If you're impacted, you're going to get little cracks in this area, it gets fissures. You'll also get engorgement of these veins, and they'll bleed, and they cause a lot of issues. Now, let me show you what happens when you're constipated. This time, the bowel goes through the small bowel into the cecum, and now to the large intestines, it'll go working its way up there. But here, you're not going to the bathroom. The toxic material that's in that poop is getting stuck in there. And because of that, it cannot work its way through. It starts to ball up into little itty-bitty pellets, and like a bombardier, you'll eventually start letting this go. That is a problem. And this is the poop proclamation for the new year. And this proclamation is pretty simple. What we try to do is get you to understand what your poop looks like, and check it out on Oprah.com. But that poop schedule will show you different figures. Now, I talk about S shapes all the time, which is what Kimberly mentioned. Doesn't have to be S-shaped. It can be exclamation point shaped. It can be, C-shaped. It doesn't matter. What does matter is that you're not straining as you go to the bathroom. How do you make sure that happens? I got a checklist for you. Fiber, we know about that. At least 21 grams a day. Most people get half of that or less. Number two, you want to make sure you get enough caffeine in your diet, which is the one time I'll say caffeine is good for bowel movements. Magnesium helps too. That's my little secret. You try that, Susie?
It's my savior. Well, I don't have magnesium, I don't poop.
Yeah,
Is that bad?
Prince Magnesium.
Can I just say for Susie, it's a $, not an
Yes.
She's right.
You want to try some physical activity. Yoga's got whole poses designed to let you go to the bathroom. Water. How much water do you need? Enough water so that your urine is clear. And finally, you got to toilet train yourself. I know it sounds crazy. Phil, have you ever heard of that?
I don't know you that well.
But you got to get on a routine.
Yes, I have, actually.
Yeah. I mean, it works. It works for kids. It works for adults. You got to go to the bathroom the same time every day. You got to make sure you train yourself. And if you're not ready to go, push yourself a little bit. Work at it a little bit. When you're regular, it's heaven.
You know, Kimberly is on Polycom right behind you guys here. Oh. Kimberly, of all that advice, I mean, was there something that you recognized, hey, I wasn't doing this, I wasn't eating this, and that's what I can do to make movements better?
Well, I know I've never heard of taking magnesium, so that's huge to me. I guess that's something I'm going to have to put in my diet to help out.
Tell her how much to take, because if you don't take enough, it doesn't work.
Yeah, so you want to always take magnesium with calcium, ideally. And the reason you bond them together is because calcium will constipate you. So roughly a 2-to-1 ratio. If you're taking 1,200 milligrams of calcium, which is what most of us recommend with vitamin D, at least 600 milligrams of magnesium. You can take 800, even 1,000 milligrams of magnesium. You take much more than that, you'll be going to the bathroom all day long.
Dr. Oz, fruit, doesn't that? It has roughage, it has fiber.
Fruit, oatmeal, there are lots of foods that have fiber. All the natural foods, the foods that come out of the ground, looking the way they look when you eat them, they pretty much have fiber in them.
Okay, and Kimberly, have you been better lately?
Not lately.
Okay, all right. Well, we wish you, how can we say this? I wish you better,
Poop.
Poop.
In 2011.
God poop you.
Okay,
I
you
gotta
are such
tell
a
you.
brave woman. My heart goes out to
I
you.
gotta tell you, Freud is turning over in his grave. Talking about all this anal activity, but go ahead.
Okay. All right, yeah, let us move on, right? Lisa in our audience has a question for Dr. Phil that he says that he gets asked all of the time.